From Tally to Cali, it's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up! Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, fueled by DeLuna Coffee.
Coffee's for closers only.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Aslan Hajavandi. That is Corey Clark. You heard the intro and everything. It's Wake Up Warchant. It is fueled by DeLuna Coffee.
Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
DeLunaCoffee.com. Use the promo code WARCHANT15. Get yourself the bundle. You'll get this tumbler. You'll get a 12-ounce bag of coffee, but not this coffee. It'll be Palafox Place. And you'll get a tin of chocolate-covered espresso beans. All for $40. Gift it. Keep it. Do whatever you wish. Go to DeLunaCoffee.com. Use the promo code WARCHANT15. Lets them know you're a fan of the program, and we're a fan of you folks. We appreciate it. Corey, how are you, man?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Just got done with a walk. Did headlines earlier today. Got a little activity in. Tried to get a little sun on the dome. We'll see how that works, but not too much because I had cancer last year. I don't know if you remember that, Aslan. A scare with skin cancer, but yeah, doing well, buddy. Doing well. Ready to hook up with our friends that we haven't seen in like a month, right?
Yeah, it's been a while since we did one of these. It is the off season, but the off season is going to end here in about 10 days or so when spring football starts up. So that's super awesome. Do you do anything between shows, Corey, to kind of keep your verve? I mean, do you have some, hot tea and honey and lemon or something to keep the pipes going after a long day of doing headlines and having to do this?
I like to do like an hour and a half sauna and just do push-ups in there. Okay. Just really get the heart racing and get a real sweat going on. That's what I try to do. That gets me going, man. That gets me going. Actually, the answer, of course, is no. I don't do anything. I should probably.
You probably should, man. Your vocal cords, man. Get those things insured.
That's right. Got to protect these bad boys.
Yeah. This is what gets me going, man. Guys like Rob Rathbun. Let's go, Rob.
Right out of the gate.
Shout out to the Rams, by the way. Plenty of air horn used in their Super Bowl celebration. Real recognizes real or whatever. Rob, thank you so much, man. We haven't seen you in a month. Haven't really probably given you anything to earn that, but we appreciate it. If you got a question, post it in the chat. We'll pop it up on the screen. And we'll talk about it. It's how the show works. It's very interactive. You folks set the agenda. We simply give you our opinions and thoughts on things. Corey, so what was more impressive to you here this past weekend? I know we talked about on the show on for Monday. Florida State swept, I think, like the all ACC honors when it comes to baseball and softball. What team right now caught your eye? What team are you more excited to see grow throughout the years? It's softball or baseball?
Well, look, baseball is a much more of an unknown. Softball is great. Softball is certainly a favorite to get back to Oklahoma City. Baseball still got a lot to prove. 10-0 with the schedule the softball play. 5-0 in that tournament. They were the only undefeated team in that tournament, and it was full of the best teams in the country besides Oklahoma, who apparently is still pretty good at softball. I would say Lonnie's just got another. It's just, there are familiar names, but then there's other names that you haven't heard before that they just come right in and pick up where other people left off. And they got two really good pitchers. They play good defense. They run. They hit everything you'd want in a batted ball squad. They got. So I would say them. We'll see. The jury's still very much out on baseball, but it was a great start for them.
Yeah. Wes, our guy out in the Villages, saying, good evening, fellas. It's been a hot minute since we've had one of these. Hope all is well. Likewise, Wes. Have we gone from football school to basketball school to now softball school? As always, go Noles.
Softball / soccer, right?
Yeah.
Can't skip on soccer and what Krikorian's done. It's certainly not a basketball school this year. Neither one of the teams, men or women, are playing well. The men have been just beset by injuries, and last night was a disaster. That was just a debacle. 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. But yeah, it is a softball school now, and Lonnie's done a great job. What a hire, by the way. She
Seriously.
wasn't like a slam dunk.
No.
I think she came from, where'd she go? Like UNLV?
Correct.
Yeah, and it wasn't like they went and hired the Auburn coach, they went to UNLV, whoever that would have been at the time. I think it might have been Spetman / TK.
Yes.
Maybe. But yeah, they made that hire, and it's really, really worked out. And also Chris Poole, a volleyball coach that was hired around that same time, I believe, got a 3-year extension today, Aslan. Little breaking news, little exclusive news here on Wake Up Warchant in the afternoon.
There we go. When did Krikorian get hired? Is he a Spetman hire as well, or is that
I think he might have been before. I think he might have been Dave Hart.
Really? It's been around
I think
that?
so.
Yeah, actually, Patrick Baker had to. Yeah, get on that one, Baker. Talk to your agent on that one again. Going to Georgia, how'd that work out for you?
What's this? What are we looking at here?
That's Lonnie's career
Okay.
records. So yeah, she went to UNLV. She'd come from Stanford, so Stanford had a really good program. The Pac-10 obviously was.
But look at that last year at UNLV.
Yeah.
25, 40 and 1, 5 and 15 in the conference. None of those other years besides her second year had been anything special. And then they make that hire. She must have wowed him in the interview. And then it was one of the best hires in the history of college softball, especially considering what she hadn't put up great numbers at UNLV, but to see that and hire her anyway, and now look at what they do. It's pretty remarkable, man.
Yeah. If you don't want to donate to us, donate to Wikipedia. I use them so much. They help fuel this program in addition to Wake Up Warchant. And so do guys like Eric Angel. Sorry about your Bengals, bud, but glad to have you here.
Yeah, that was a bummer, Eric. Sincerely, I was rooting for you guys.
Yeah. How come no one talked about the 4th and 1 at the end? I know that didn't cost them the game, but the fact that I watch all ESPN programming up until about 5 p.m. and no one talked at all about them going in shotgun on 4th and 1 in a 3-point game where they've got a kicker who's pretty much a cyborg, and all they needed was practically, 13 more yards, and they had a timeout left.
Yeah.
And no one cared about that. And like somebody on Twitter was like, that's not why they lost the game. I'm like, I get it, but I'm just trying to think some sort of Florida. If that was Florida State, I feel like we would have spent at least 20 minutes of a podcast talking about why didn't they just, if they were going to run it, just I could lose a game not getting a 4th and 1, trying to outman the other team, and you can't. It's like, all right, I can live with it. Going like shotgun and trying to do some sort of rub route nonsense.
Well, I didn't like it because you tried to single block Aaron Donald. And I said it as I literally did. I have witnesses, folks. I do. While we were watching the game, I'm like, man, they're 4th and 1 shotgun with Aaron Donald. Like, you only need a yard. Don't give him a chance to impact this play. And if you get in tight, or if you get not in goal line, but if you get in under center, the play action works better. The bootleg works better. Shotgun, you're just asking your guard, who isn't very good, to block a superhuman who might be the best defensive lineman we've ever seen. And it did not work out well. And I know I don't say that lightly. Aaron Donald is awesome. Maybe he's not Reggie White. Maybe he's not the best ever, but he is certainly in the conversation. So anyway, Eric, we appreciate it. We will be doing golf. I don't think that's the spring game week, though.
He is down. He says he and Shane.
Okay. Yeah, nice. But yeah, we'll definitely be doing something. I think we're going to have a Friday night corner pocket event the day before the spring game. So the night before the spring game. So be there for that, everyone.
Yeah. It gives us $22.22 because as we record this on your podcast, you're listening to on your Wednesday, but you're watching us live right now, everybody. We appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up if you could. That would be super, super appreciated. On 2/22/22, he gives us 22.22 cents. He's clever, that Eric Angel.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, man. Corey, what do you think about this? I know some spring stuff is going to be probably coming out here in the next few days about a schedule or whatever, but I was looking at LSU rather, their spring football schedule, and they're going to pack theirs in into like 30 days practically. They're going to start theirs on the 24th of March, and then I think their spring game is the 23rd. Meanwhile, Florida State, we know, is going to start Saturday, right? March 5th. Is that a Saturday?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then the spring game isn't it like the 15th, or I should look that up. I should look that up before I start talking about
it's the Saturday of the Masters.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you get your X amount of practices. Would you like, I think, did Willie take a spring break in between his thing? I just wonder, like, what would Coach Clark do with 15 practices, 18 practices or whatever? Would he try to cram them all in kind of back to back, or do you want to make it a little bit manageable for your guys?
It's fine either way. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. I would think that it's probably easier just logistically to do it all in 1 month and be done with it. But, he's letting the guys take a 10-week break. So it's basically like 2 spring practices, Aslan. It's like 2 spring practices.
All right. You figure you just type in Garnet and Gold game and you'd be able to see the date, but it wouldn't. But, if you probably follow things a little better on your job, Aslan, you would know April 9th. There we go. It's only a few more extra days. Yeah, I don't know, man. I did a little bit of scouting on LSU. Not that nervous about that game. That is a huge opportunity for Florida State. There is not a lot to lose in that game. There's everything to possibly gain. And there's going to be so much pressure on LSU to perform and deliver. First game, practically a home crowd, new staff. And they're breaking in a lot of new pieces, a lot of new important pieces, namely their quarterback. So say what you will about Jordan Travis. I will take Jordan Travis over Miles Brennan. As we sit here and talk about it right now, maybe I'll be proved wrong, but I don't think I will. So feel good about it. 2-0 start. ESPN talking us up. Game day plotting out a trip maybe down here for the Clemson game at some point. Feeling good. Feeling good, Corey.
And also, it's pretty. I mean, what lobbyist came up with National Margarita Day? Like, is it the tequila lobby?
The lime lobby?
Yeah, who did it? Somebody did. Somebody's just like, this is going to be February 22nd is National Margarita Day. All right, whatever you say, I guess it is. It's not on my calendar, but all right, it's National Margarita Day.
Yeah. Kevin Johnson says, hello, gents. I got embarrassingly excited when I saw you were live tonight.
Welcome to the party, Kevin. We all did. We all did. We're all excited for this, man.
Pull up a chair. Pull up a chair. Let's go to Naples. We got our guy, Mark Adamczyk. His name's on the screen. We love Mark. Dollar bill, y'all. All right, $30. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate
Mark,
you.
you're the man. You know that. You know you're the man.
I mean, we throw up the bat signal on YouTube. You, Rob, James B, all you folks, Eric Angel, y'all show up. We appreciate it. Corey, he says, I hope you enjoy a nice vodka, water, and cran tonight.
That's my new drink, Aslan.
I like
not
it.
Margarita. It's not National Vodka, Water, and Cranberry Day, but I'm still going to probably partake in one or two tonight. The carbonation with the beer, Aslan. I've had to move on to something else.
Why all three of those? Why not just vodka water? Why not just vodka cran?
Because vodka tastes gross, and I need to block the taste by putting a little cran juice in there.
I'm fine with that. That's called the Cape Cod of vodka and cranberry. It's called the Cape Cod.
Oh, is it? But
Yeah,
I don't want a lot of cranberry. I don't want mostly cranberry in a shot of vodka or whatever. I want mostly water and then just a splash of cranberry.
Okay.
Don't want too much cranberry on my stomach. That would probably defeat the purpose.
Little color on there. I saw one of the big brewers in this country. I mean, we don't call them microbreweries. They're not, the hipsters. They've got a no carb beer, so they're coming after you.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Trying to chomp into the ultra life, try to steal you away. Anyhow, Mark's got a question, and it's an important question. Let's get to it. Which three players, old or new, will make the biggest splash in the spring game? I mean, I almost want to talk about spring. Spring game is, I don't know. Go Noles. Let the bamboo keep growing. Absolutely. All right, three players, old or new. We'll take the receivers. You want to take Pittman? I'll take Winston Wright. It's going to be one of those guys.
No, I'm taking
Johnny
will make
Wilson.
the biggest splash. Yeah, I was going to say the one I'm most interested in seeing. But yeah, the one that'll make the biggest splash. I'm going to say Toafili is one. There's something about me now. I'm back on the Toafili train. I was off it there in September, made a couple plays late, got injured in that ridiculous final play at Clemson. And then I think there's something. I think this is his year, his make or break year. And I think he's going to be an impact player. So I'm going to look at him. And then I want to see, is Jared Verse too easy a choice? I'm going to say Jared Verse, and then I'm going to say Fabian Lovett. I think they'll have very impactful springs and probably spring games as well.
All right.
Fabian Lovett could be a monster, man. Won last year. He's big. He's bigger. He was good last year when he was healthy. There's a chance he could have a breakout, even more of a breakout year.
What about Coop? Coop gets no love, but Fabian, huh?
I think Fabian's more of a 3-down guy than Coop is. Coop's kind of a run stopper, but Fabian can get after the passer a little bit too. That's it. I love you, Coop. I love you, Big Coop. You're my dog. You know that. We're Gwinnett County kids.
All right, spring game. He seems to really enjoy the spotlight, so I'll go with Micah Pittman.
Okay.
Jordan Travis, and Amari Gaynor.
What about AJ Duffy? Wouldn't it be something if he had a nice spring or a really good spring? That would ease everybody's nerves if AJ Duffy had a really nice spring, because then you feel a little bit better about your QB depth chart. Yeah. By the way, speaking of, Mark finished up his comment with Go Noles and let bamboo keep growing. Speaking of our man Dillingham, there was a tweet out there yesterday or today about Jordan Travis's red zone efficiency and how he was maybe the leader in the country or one of the top 10 in the country. And our man Dillingham retweeted it. because he
Found it.
loves to retweet Jordan Travis stuff. So I love that guy, man. He loves him some Jordan Travis, and he is, what is he now, 2 months removed, 3 months removed from coaching him, and he's still going to retweet anything about Jordan Travis. I love that guy.
Corey ain't lying. There it is. Jordan, boom bust, remarkably efficient. ACC quarterbacks since 2016. That's an interesting sort of category, but hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. Better than the great Kurt Benkert. You know you're doing things when you're better than the great Kurt Benkert.
Yeah, exactly right. Devin Leary's pretty good too, it turns out.
Yeah. So thanks, Kenny. Keep it going. Give us something to talk about, man. We appreciate it. All right, moving along. Thank you again, Mark. We appreciate you, man. You're the man. You know that. You already know that.
Do you think, seriously though, do you think the Oregon quarterbacks are a little annoyed at this point? Like it's like the guy on Instagram that's
focusing on his own thing, head down, focus on what he's got to do, getting 1% better. He's not worried about.
He's not upset that his QB coach keeps retweeting about the quarterback he used to coach. I don't know, man. I think there could be a little rift there, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember like after the Miami game, Dillingham had the photo of him and like the whole offensive staff, like analysts and quality control guys and all the quarterbacks, and it was like relationships, family, and all that. And then you're like, yeah, well. You didn't leave them for the Seahawks. Like you
right.
So what about all those relationships and how special everybody is? I mean, is $100,000 enough? It would be enough for me.
Right. Me too. I would imagine. Yeah.
Probably clear. It was probably enough for him as well. Let's see here. I thought Gator Kirk had a question. I saw him on the screen, but there's not a question. Somebody's asking us about how come Florida State does not recruit like Oklahoma. It was our guy Marlon. Which wasn't Marlon here for the Miami game? He was with a bunch of Miami fans at the corner pocket, I think. Was that Marlon? I think that was Marlon.
Yep. So this is a softball question.
Yeah, it's not a metaphorical softball question. It's a literal softball question. But I'm not well versed in the recruitment of that sort of stuff. But maybe Patty Gatso she knows who she wants, and she just won't stop until she gets her player.
I think it legitimately has to do with them being in the state of the Final Eight. The championship series is always in that home state. I think it's huge in that state. I don't know their roster, but I have to imagine a lot of those girls are from Oklahoma or they want to go play. It's like women all across the country back, 10 or 15 years ago, all wanted to go play at UConn because they'd sell out every game. They treated women's basketball differently than a lot of other schools, and it was very, very important to them. Well, softball is a huge deal in Oklahoma, and you are a star in Norman. When you're on that team. So they get, they're like Duke basketball, man. They get 6 of the top 10 players in the country every year, anytime they want them. And a lot of it, I think, is just that fan base and the venue that they know they get to play in. But hey, man, I can't imagine what Florida State does on national TV in the way they act in the dugout and as much fun as they have with each other and the fact that they're awesome and they win all the time and they play a fun style. I can't imagine that's not easy to recruit with too. Like, I can't imagine Lonnie's having to beg people to be interested in playing at Florida State because they're a very appealing program right now as well.
Yeah. Delaney Way. I don't know if that's a person or just representing where they're from, but in any event, thank you, Delaney Way.
Where there's a Delaney Will, there's a Delaney Way. You're welcome, everyone.
Delaney says, I'm ready to see J-Trav with these new receivers, especially Winston Wright. It's going to be night and day to have a go-to guy. I mean, Ontario Wilson might want to have a word with you.
He ain't a go-to guy.
Your point is taken. Your point is taken, Delaney. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Don't you think? I mean, that's this spring, the spring game, and then obviously going in Duquesne and all that. I want to see what he looks like with weapons. I want to see if he gets the ball out on time where he knows guys will be open. He trusts guys will be open because that should change the entire way you play quarterback. If you're not sure your guy is going to be open, if he's going to beat his guy off the line, it's really hard to just grip it and rip it when you're not trusting that your guy will be there or your guy will be open. So I think he held on to the ball a little too long because he didn't trust his guys to get open. Now, some quarterbacks just hold on to the ball too long, where they have good receivers or bad receivers. This will be the year, I think, not that he's working with, Alabama's unit, but he's working with competent. I mean, look, Pokey might be his 4th or 5th best receiver now. And Pokey was his best receiver last year. So it's a nice group. It's not a great group. I don't know if how many NFL guys are in it, but it is a competent, probably above average receiver group. And now it's going to be interesting to see how Jordan Travis works with one of those, because he has not ever had that, anything close to that, really.
Don't forget about the tight ends. There's a story up on warchant.com. I think we did a tight end preview, which God bless Ira. Stop it, man. Like, stop just grinding so hard. Tight ends need to account for at least 40 catches before we consider them like their own. They get their own segment.
Okay. I see.
Right,
you throw them into the receivers or in the offensive line?
Catchers,
Receivers,
pass catchers. Put them all in one.
Well, they got a lot of them. Hopefully one or two of them will be good.
But I think we're going to split up edge rushers versus interior defensive linemen too. So we got all these previews coming. We're stretching it, everybody. We're trying to get you to March 5th. Stay with us. We're trying our best. Kevin Johnson says, I just hope there are cameras in the LSU locker room to catch Southern Brian Kelly's pregame speech.
Yeah.
Good.
Gather round, players. Gather round. Let me tell you a story. That's my closest I can do to Ed.
That's solid. One team, one heartbeat. James B asked, what's our record versus Brian Kelly? Actually had it, but I had the wrong tab. I think it's 3-2. He's got the best of us, and he's currently on a 3-game winning streak, if I'm not mistaken. So Jimbo got him. Jimbo got him twice, and then he's taken care of.
So he's been at Notre Dame since when did he get there? He's been there for a while, huh?
Nine
wow.
or 10.
Wow. So I say he's been there. He's not there anymore. So he's there for 12 years. That's a long run. Yeah, that was crazy. He lost that game in 11. EJ broke his leg in the first half. The whole offensive line for Florida State was freshmen, the guys that hadn't played, that were going to be the backbone of the national championship team, but they were all young, and they still lost that game to Florida State.
Man, he just likes hanging 40 on us like it's his job, though.
Had to go to overtime to do it last year, though, Aslan. Just remember that.
This is true.
Fuller held him to 38 in regulation.
There we go. Gator Kirk asks, when do you guys get to observe Tour of Duty? Is it Tour or is it Tour?
Probably Tour. Tour?
You said something different. Tour. Tour. March 1st, which is a Tuesday.
Tour? Is that what you say? Tour?
PJ
Tour of Duty?
Oh. PJ Tour. Yeah. Like tore through it. Yeah. March 1st.
March 1st. So that's, what is that?
Tuesday.
A week from now.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear about it, man. I can't wait to hear about it and see the video.
I mean, what you can go. It's not.
No, I can't. I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. I got something going on.
It's going on at 6 a.m., everybody. So maybe I should do some sort of like kegs and eggs thing. Maybe if you all want to come hang out with me at some sort of 24-hour diner, because I'm not going to go to sleep Monday night. It's not worth it. I won't be able to shut my head off. I'll just have too much anxiety that I'll miss the alarm. So I'm not even going to go to sleep. So I can't wait. Can't wait. Gregory Morand, the voice of optimism around these parts. LSU still has players. Remember, y'all thought you had the Gators. So, Gregor, are you one of us, or are you one of the guys that you don't like to say we because you don't actually play on the team, which I respect, but you're around here a lot talking about Florida State, so I would figure you wouldn't say y'all thought you had the Gators last fall because they lost their coach and most of their skill players, which is true. Very true, Gregory.
I don't think we thought, oh, this is an automatic W. I mean, we've watched this program enough to know there isn't such thing as an automatic W. We thought that Florida State was going to be it would be a benefit that we didn't.
I thought they're going to win. He had
you thought going into last season
when we had his whole speech about rivalries. There's two games that we talked about in the preseason. You wrote a column about it, dude. Yeah, man. There's no way they're going to lose to Florida. That team was horrible. And they don't even have a coach.
They were all right. They were a bowl team, Aslan. They weren't horrible. They were a bowl team. They almost beat Alabama. What is the matter with you? That was a great Florida team.
You're right. Gregory, these are the reasons. I mean, first off, that's their first game of the season. Florida State's got an absolute teed up, perfect schedule leading up to that game with having an FCS warm-up. FCS Jacksonville State. I get you. But then looking at their roster, they've got one dude at every level of their defense that's a problem, like a legit problem, like NFL talent problem. Offensively, though, their quarterback, there's nothing about that quarterback that scares me. That there's nothing special about him. Miles Brennan's like maybe a competent, functioning quarterback in the SEC. I don't know, like a poor man's Bo Nix, poor man's Max Johnson. Maybe a little bit. He's just been banged up too much. They got some running backs that are a little bit, enticing. I mean, one of their guys was a 5-star, I think, in 19. He had grade problems. He had an eye issue that made him sit out an entire season. So he's a guy that could possibly kind of come out of nowhere. But their offensive line is totally revamped. They did get the Miles Frazier kid that Florida State was going after. He's going to probably man one of their tackle spots. And they got Kayshon Boutte. But otherwise, this sounds crazy, but I think on paper, Florida State probably has better production out of their receivers than LSU does. Crazy that sounds, even with Kayshon Boutte.
We'll see. Either way, it's like, LSU is going to be a bowl team. They're not going to be a championship team, but they're going to be a good team. They're going to be well coached. It is their first game with a new coach, though. Certainly nobody in Garnet is predicting this is going to be an easy win or this is going to be even a win. I know Aslan said what he said earlier in the show, but it's not like he's going to New Orleans thinking he's convinced Florida State's going to win this game. It does set up better than if you were playing LSU next year, or if you were playing LSU in the first game of the season, or if you were playing LSU in the 5th game of the season. That second game right after Duquesne should be an advantage because you played a game and they haven't. That's all.
Then you've got 8 days. I mean, that's a Sunday game against LSU as well. So
and they've lost some guys. They lost a lot of guys. They aren't absolutely positively across the board more talented than you at every position. They just aren't. At least they're not proven yet, I guess I should say.
And listen, man, they got an all new staff. New offense they're trying to implement with a new quarterback. They got a defensive coordinator who was a linebackers coach.
You've convinced me, Aslan. You've convinced me.
I'm just saying there's reasons to feel optimistic about it.
Sure, absolutely.
If this is a week 8 game. If this was the middle of October or November, my tune would be totally different, as we sit here and talk about it in February. But let's keep this thing going. There's a lot of good questions, and we're backlogged. I'm sorry, but I'll stop talking. Nole fan 407, represent Orlando, Orange County, the real Orange County. All right, pick what's most likely to happen in 2022. We have 4 options on our screen. Let me read through all of them before choosing yours, Corey. What is most likely to happen in 2022? A, Jordan Travis throws for over 3,000 yards.
Scratch that.
Can I not read all of them?
No, I'm just saying that one's eliminated.
You don't think so?
No chance. But that's fine. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. They're not gonna...
Don't Micah Pittman. Don't listen to that. Micah Pittman left Oregon because he didn't get the ball enough. If the quarterback doesn't throw for 3,000 yards here, he's not going to be a happy receiver. All right. B, 1,200 yards receiving by any one wide receiver. I mean, scratch that. I mean, I'll take 3,000 yards over that. C, fewer than 15 sacks allowed. What? D, 40% or better on their third down conversion rate.
Just looking at those, I would say D, but I don't know how likely that is. I think 40% would be really good. That'd be top, third in the country, top 1/3 of teams in the country. But I don't see any of these receivers unless one of these guys is just awesome and has a breakout year. Fewer than 15, that just doesn't seem plausible.
Yeah,
so I would say, it's probably A or D. I don't think Jordan's going to throw for, what is that, 240 yards a game for 12 games? 250? I can't do math. Sorry, everyone. But either way, I would say D is probably the most likely.
You're crazy. No, man. Wait, I'm taking into account him being healthy the ententire season. Are you taking into account?
Well, yeah, you are, and I'm not. I'm just that's part of the reason it's not likely.
Okay. All right. I'll take it, man. They went and got all these receivers. I think these receivers are better and more talented than the running backs. And this quarterback has got a lot to prove, chip on his shoulder, and I think embraces and wants to be able to throw the ball. I'll say A, because I don't see there's not a 1,200 yard receiver on this roster.
That's 250 yards per game passing.
Yeah, that's easy.
All right. Okay.
Meanwhile, they finished 34.5%, and we'll round up to 35% on third down conversions. So let me see what 40 would have taken them to. Let's see if I can pull that out. Of course, it jumps to another one. I think I hit the defense. Sorry. Offensively, third down. Yeah, they're 105th.
Yeah.
This is terrible. It went to the wrong. Here it goes. Now we got to the right one. 40% that's like top 60-ish.
Okay.
So
yeah, they could do that. That's a jump they could make. You hope, especially offensive line should be better, which certainly helps. Quarterback should be better. And if he's healthy the whole season, it's just going to be one guy. So there's not going to be a hokey pokey at quarterback, which is nice. And then you got you think at least one guy in Winston Wright that can make first down catches and get open on third down, which they could not really depend on last year.
Would your win-loss prediction change based on A? Like if somebody told you for certain he would throw for over 3,000 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then that's a they're going to run the ball. At least I think they will. If they're averaging 250 yards a game passing, at least I did the math. I was right. It was 250. That's quick math. Quick Georgia public schools right there. Because I think they're going to run for 170, 180. That's what they want to do. They have a running quarterback. So all of a sudden you're really truly a balanced offense with a guy that can make plays with his arm, and that should open up the running lanes for everyone. So yeah, I would say if he throws for 3,000 yards, that's at least 8 wins. That's at least 8 wins.
Look at this guy, at least 8.
Just throwing that out there.
All right, here we go.
Let's go! Come on! Who do you think you are? I am!
Dollar bills, y'all.
What's up, everybody?
James B bringing the heat.
200 American, everybody. 200 American, one human being. Pensacola's own James B. He's excited that it's National Margarita Day, y'all. He says he is drinking margaritas. Probably 1942 in his, judging by his generosity. James,
Yeah.
Thank you, James.
You're the best, James. You're something else, man. All you guys, but especially you. You more than anyone. You, buddy. You're the one. You're the one. Thanks, buddy. And I'm sure I'll see you. Hopefully we'll see you for the spring game or New Orleans or both. You better be showing up.
Dollar bills, y'all.
I wanted to hit the bang, but I accidentally hit the Wu-Tang. I mean, James, you're the man. Mark Sermons, $10. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Mark.
We definitely need to get a good backup quarterback that's a veteran. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, again, though, let's see. I know we don't believe it'll happen, but what if Rodemaker actually makes a jump? Or what if Duffy looks completely, I was going to say underwhelmed, but that wouldn't be whelmed by college football. Like no big deal. He's not overwhelmed by it at all. He's just whelmed. And he fits right in and picks it up, and they trust in him, and he shows a real talent. You know, maybe it's not an absolute necessity, but I think both of those are probably long shots. You would definitely like somebody backing up Jordan Travis, who has played meaningful college football snaps, and you could count on in the third quarter against LSU with a 21-13 lead to not go lose you the game.
Let's come back to that. Thanks, James. We'll be back in a second. William McMillan, another voice of sunshine, along with me and my acolytes. William postulates, what if Jordan Travis gets hurt and be out for the season after the LSU game? And then what now? We stuck with no quarterback? So stop worrying about Travis's feelings and think about the team. Amen.
Yeah, that's right, Aslan. Stop worrying about Jordan's feelings. That number one, I don't think anybody here anyway disagrees with the fact that they need another quarterback. And I wouldn't worry all that much about Jordan Travis's feelings. Go win the job. You did it last time. You can do it again. We need a backup quarterback. I think, again, this implies that they're not trying to get one. They might be trying to get one. For all we know, they're trying to get, what's his name? Jade. Yeah, there he brought it up. Man, we're reading. We're like, what symmetry we have. They might be trying to get Jaden Daniels.
Synergy.
Well, whatever, Aslan. Ooh, look at you. You know big words. But, yeah, I don't think if Jaden Daniels came to Mike Norvell and said, hey, I really liked playing Florida. I know you weren't a part of the team back then, but I really liked playing Florida State 2 years ago. That was fun. Like the way you got these guys compete. I love the uniforms. I want to come play in Tallahassee. If Mike Norvell said no to him because of Jordan Travis's feelings, Mike Norvell should not be the head coach at Florida State or anywhere else for that matter. That's like a dereliction of duty. Like you go get the best players you can to help your team. Jaden Daniels would absolutely help your team. I don't know if he wins the job, and I'm not trying to be funny there. I think he's better than Jordan Travis, but I don't know if he's appreciably better, especially since Jordan's been in the offense for 2.5 years and Jaden Daniels is not. So who starts on opening day? I don't know, but I darn sure know that Mike Norvell better not be telling somebody like that no. But the problem is I don't think people like that are interested in Florida State because there's a guy that's entrenched here that started all of last season or most of last season and is 5-2 in his last 7. But the problem, like William points out, he does get banged up. And if he gets banged up and is lost for the season and you only have 2 quarterbacks on your roster and none have really played any meaningful college football, one's a true freshman, you've let your team down if that's going to be your QB depth chart. Unless you feel 100% confident in AJ Duffy. And if you think he's ready to play. And he might be. Who knows?
How does, I mean, this isn't me sucking up to Jimbo, but like, how does Jimbo get Max Johnson to come to College Station? You know, I mean, I guess Hayes King only played, I don't know, 2 or 3 games before he went out. So
don't you think that's more of like I think that's looks like more of an open competition. Like that kid had won the starting job, but then he only played like a game and a half. And they got hurt against Colorado and then didn't play again. So it's not like he's entrenched. He's my guy. So I think that made it more of an appealing situation for Max Johnson because he knows it's a legitimate open quarterback competition. Jaden Daniels could come in and unseat Jordan Travis. Sure. But there are a lot of quarterbacks out there that are kind of, middle of the road, kind of serviceable, solid, nothing special. That want to play their last few seasons, and they probably don't think they can beat out Jordan Travis, and it's not an open competition. And if it's not like Mackenzie Milton knew it was going to be an open competition. Jordan Travis had not done enough in 2020 for Mackenzie Milton to think that he couldn't come in and win the job, that Jordan Travis was entrenched. But now Jordan Travis is kind of entrenched. And you better be really good to unseat him. And it's just, it makes it tough. It makes it tough to be appealing to a quarterback that's looking for a place to play when you're not sure you have a place for him.
So anybody that watched practice, if they were to say that Chubba Purdy was the answer, they're either being disingenuous or maybe we shouldn't take them all. I don't want to be rude about it, but like there was nothing I saw from Chubba during fall camp, during in-season practices where you're like, man, it's hard to keep this kid on the bench. They got to find a way to give him opportunity. There's nothing like that, man. It wasn't. And it wasn't. And Jordan didn't look amazing in practice either. It just blows my mind, though, that you would walk away from being just, I don't know, like literally one bat. You're in the Florida game. You're in the Florida game if you're Chubba Purdy. You're starting NC State if you're Chubba Purdy and you don't leave. And if you play good against NC State, I don't know, man. If you go shoot, if you play good against NC State, you win that game. And then everything happens in the Florida game and you get put back in the lineup and you win that Florida game. I don't know, man. You might be the starting quarterback going into 2022 in Tallahassee.
It's a real competition. It's certainly the same type of, it would be a legitimate open competition, just like what he's going to have to do now in Nebraska, except he has to live in Nebraska.
And he's
offense,
like, no, man,
Nebraskans.
I'll go. And listen, they went after Casey Thompson first. Casey Thompson is plan A. You are plan B still. It's crazy. It might feed into this whole narrative that people think that they're just afraid to rattle Jordan, which I don't think is the case. And I'm not like sad or mad at Chubba for leaving. Do what you think is best for you. It on the surface, it just doesn't make sense. It never made sense. James B wants us to wonder about, imagine Micah Pittman, what he'll give us punt returning. Imagine if he gives us a punt return for a touchdown. Can you freaking imagine?
It'd be like Greg Reed back in the day.
DJ Matthews.
That's right. That was the last one. DJ would go catch the ball, man.
Yes.
DJ, you never felt like he looked like he was kind of like a Kenny Shaw where you knew you felt really confident he was going to catch the ball. He wasn't going to bobble it, was going to catch it. And he was honestly a better punt returner than Kenny Shaw. He wasn't a better receiver, but a better punt returner because he actually made a lot of people miss. But yeah, Kenny Shaw was only a punt returner that year in 13 because Jimbo knew how loaded his team was. And he's like, as long as we catch punts, we're going to win by 5 touchdowns. We just have to have somebody we don't need to, our offense will score. We don't need to score on a punt return. We're not going to try to block anything, and we're not going to try to run any of these punts back. We're just going to catch them and then let Jameis do his thing. But man, James, I'm with you. It will be awesome to have hopefully multiple returners that can make things happen.
TR, who do y'all think will be right next to Winston Wright on kickoff returns? Whoa.
I would say
Corey Wren.
Where are you going? What happened?
Just
Weird.
wait. Just answer the question, man.
I was gonna say Pittman, or maybe our man Deuce. Get a little Deuces loose from Illinois. I think one of the new guys will give it a go for real. I don't know if any Ja'Kai Douglas they seem to like, but I would not put him back there at kickoffs. I've been impressed with some of the things he does on offense, but not returning kicks. So maybe one of the new guys.
I mean,
Old Shane Dog.
Let's go! Come on! Let's go!
Start knocking things over.
I mean, bang! Let's go!
What is that?
It's a cap gun.
Oh, all right. I thought it was like
Yeah.
like something to light a fireplace.
No. I thought it had some caps left in it, but
Well,
Shane, what?
Don't be insulted by that cap gun.
Oh my gosh. $500 American, everybody. 500 American.
He says, sorry to donate and run, but got a long night of work ahead of me. You guys are the best. Shane, don't ever let it happen again, or you're banned. Don't ever donate and run again. This is the last time, buddy. We're not going to stand for it anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you very much, buddy. That's way too kind. We'll buy you. I'm going to buy you a vodka cranberry the next time I see you. Maybe two in for you and your lovely lady.
Shane, like, post a question. Tell us, like, your love for Michelle, your significant. I mean, how do we respond?
Literally, you could tell us. We would read anything. We would read anything you told us to read.
What was your answer for kickoff returns? You think Mike? So Micah and Winston.
Maybe Pittman or Deuce, the Illinois kid. He's fast. He's big and fast, so maybe he can do it too. I don't know. We'll see. None of the guys they've run back there the last couple of years have been overly impressive. Maybe Travis J.
What about Azarie Thomas?
Yeah, that's another one too. Another one too, Aslan.
I don't even want to make a splash in the spring game. Back to Mark's question earlier, but he's somebody I'm going to be really interested to watch next Tuesday at Tour of Duty. See how he kind of moves around. I figure that's something that he would probably really look good in, just because you're in shorts and you got to be athletic and have, strong, constitution to go through the entire thing. So if he looks good out there, that would be a very encouraging sign. Cameron asks, is there a chance that Winston Wright is Andrew Parchment 2.0? Both have similar stats.
Well, the difference is that, number one, Parchment did it for one season, and then at Kansas, and then his next season was a debacle. I think he had like 12 catches or 15 catches. He was the year before he came to Florida State. I know it was the COVID year, but he was not very good, and didn't put up good numbers. Winston Wright's did it both years at West Virginia. I think he had over 60 catches each year, over 50 catches, Aslan. Yeah, there we go, right there. So yeah, he had 47 and then 63. So he's trending upward. Meanwhile, Parchment had a pretty big season in 19, and then he really tailed off and didn't do much at all in 20. Meanwhile, Winston Wright was even better his next year. So no, this is a guy that, 110 catches in 2 seasons. That they haven't had anything like that since Rashad, I don't think, around here. Not that he's going to do that here necessarily, because it's a different kind of offense, but that's a guy that's played a lot of snaps and caught a lot of footballs and for a real football power too. He wasn't doing it in the wilderness of Lawrence, Kansas, where nobody cares about the sport. They care in Morgantown. They play in big games.
Same conference though.
No, I know, but it's don't you think it's different to be a good Kansas football player as opposed to a West Virginia football player?
Yes,
and it's just nobody cares in Kansas. Since Gale Sayers was there.
Well, and to your point, I'm not one of these guys that subscribes to the fact that just because you're a year older means you're going to be a year better. But the fact that he has gone 3 years in a row here of getting better. Even if he gives us 58 catches for 604, and 3 touchdowns, That's not great, but that's
But
good.
it's first downs, man. Doesn't that look like? I mean, I don't know if there are stats to tell you how many first downs he caught, but first down makers, man, that's what this team needs. They're fine they're pretty darn good in the red zone. They're just going to throw it up to J-Dub anyway. Old Johnny Wilson's going to be catching 14 touchdowns with that big frame, but their biggest problem offensively is third down. They were a joke. They were awful on third down. Now they have a guy, you hope, that is, he averaged 10, 11 yards a catch. Well, that's a first down right there. So, he wasn't a huge game changer. He didn't have 63 catches for 1,200 yards like Tamari and Terry or anything, but those are first downs, and first downs is keep drives alive, getting you to the red zone. And this team, for all its warts on offense last year, was really, really good in the red zone. It's just a matter of getting there.
All right. I love you, Corey. So I'm going to ask you this question beforehand. Do you want to know how many first downs he caught last season or no?
Yeah. Let's go. How do you know that? There's a stat for that?
PFF, all over here, first. So this is game by game.
I'll add it up. 5,
3.
6, 9.
34 of them.
Okay. That's not bad, right?
No, that's great. That's great. I want to kind of put you on edge, see if you're going to be like, oh, no, maybe he's got evidence that goes against my point.
I mean, look at that. In one game, he had 5 first down catches. When was the last time a Florida State guy had 5 first down catches in a game?
Against Texas.
Against Texas. So get you some, Sark. Couldn't cover him. Couldn't cover him when it mattered.
Yeah, there we go. Way to go,
So he had
Corey.
6 catches. He had 6 targets in that game. 6 catches. 5 of them were for first downs.
Yeah,
That'll
sorry.
play.
I know I'm scrolling. I know I'm doing a lot of scrolling. I'm sorry, everybody, but you get the gist, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. Are you friends with anybody named Carla?
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. We'll see.
Do you want me I won't pop it up. Do you want me to?
I don't know what you're popping up.
Let's just do this. Let's go to this guy. I miss this guy.
Guys, this is a very special occasion. The Godfather himself has been kind enough to grace us with his presence. The Godfather. This is his damn house. He lives there. He sleeps 20 feet away.
That's Ed Lemix, everybody.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I'll even show you a photo of him. That's how legit he is. He's got a website. He sells coffee on it. It's delicious coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's DeLuna Coffee. Use the promo code WARCHANT15. When you go to DeLunaCoffee.com, you'll save 15% off your order. That's he and his son, Brett. Courtney's the real brains behind the operation, but they don't show her off enough. But go to the website, use the promo code WARCHANT15. You'll save 15% off your order. These bags of coffee will, I don't want to say change your life, but they probably will alter the trajectory of your day on a day-to-day basis. So,
or your life. They could alter the trajectory of your life.
So by that case, if it, I think it actually will work. Ed's also got a question. He just doesn't want us to shower him with praise, but I can keep doing it. Over under, he says, Micah Pittman, 2 punt and or kickoff returns. I would assume.
I think the logical answer is under, just because of what we saw last year with the blocking and the return game in general. But I think they will be appreciably better. They could not be worse, and that's not a joke. I think as much time as they put into it, I think Norvell and Papuchis were embarrassed by how the special teams played. So they will fix that, and now they have a guy that can really take advantage. So I'm still going to go under just because I haven't seen it yet. But I'm not saying it's out of the realm that he could have 3 of those. I mean, that would be crazy. He'd be an All-American.
Yeah.
How about that? Florida State with an All-American kick returner.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take the under on it. I'll take the over if we're saying how many he'll get across midfield. I'll take the over on that. What do you think about that, Corey? I think that's bold, or is that a sissy bet?
But is that punt returns too? Because what if he fields it at the 48?
Well, no one does that anymore.
6-yard return.
No one does that. Well,
Okay.
I got to kind of hedge myself there.
I think it'll be much better. I think Pittman gives them. They know they have somebody back there that is confident, competent, will go make catches, and want to do something with the ball once he does.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody, if you can hit that thumbs up again, we would certainly appreciate that. It does help. Gets the video out, keeps everybody rotating in and out of here. It's quite delightful. All you gotta do is just tap a little button, little thumb, hit the thumb up, shows that you like it. William McMillan dropping a super sticker, 5 American doll hairs. Let us know what the super sticker looks like, everybody. We can't see it, but you all can on your YouTube. It's great. I don't know why we haven't figured that out yet, but one of these days. One of these days.
Yeah, you can go ahead and post that, Aslan. That's fine.
Okay. Carla.
I think maybe she works with Stephanie, maybe.
Okay. Carla points out what we call big facts. Corey, it's been 5 years since Florida State football has had a winning season, and you have been dating a great gal for 5 years. Let's turn the tide by putting a ring on it. Nole Nation needs you. Nuptials for Nole Nation.
Okay. I have to assume Stephanie put her up to that, which, Carla, you're a great friend, apparently. That's very nice of you.
You won't be extorted. He will not be extorted, Carla, okay? He loves her. He will do this on his timeline.
Yeah. But when I do it, it will be on a live Wake Up Warchant. It has to be. Don't you think, Aslan? Don't you think that would be the most romantic? Like,
yeah,
just her in the chat.
Babe, can you come in here on my phone, like some of my phone, and she comes on screen with you?
Yeah.
And then I take you, then I'm like, boom, full screen.
Right. And then I take my camera off my computer, drop it on a knee, and then there's the ring down there. Yeah. Well, we got all this planned out. Carla, keep that a secret. We don't want to spoil the surprise for Stephanie. But yes, she is a great girl. She is a great girl. I'm very, very lucky. I don't know why I'm so lucky, but I am. I really, that was I didn't deserve it, but here she is in my life, and I'm better for it. How'd that sound? Did that sound genuine?
That was great. Yeah, good. It was. Why would you just go with it?
All right. Sorry.
Let's turn from love to war. Let's go to Russia. We got our guy Ingvar out there dropping some rubles. I hope you're doing fine out there, Ingvar. I know Russia's quite a large, expansive country over 2 continents, so hopefully you're not anywhere close to what's going on. But he says, ho, ho, Russia Nole is back again. Can't wait to see FSU next season. Either can we. Really excited. Really excited. Too much to not be excited for, Corey. There's too much new. There's too much new to not be excited for.
Yeah, and like I said, maybe a couple weeks ago, like this spring practice is going to be really. I'm excited to see it, and usually the only time I'm excited. Well, number one, we get to watch spring practice, so that's cool in itself, and so I would be excited either way. But usually you're excited because there's a QB competition. You want to keep track of who's winning. There isn't really one here this year, except for maybe the backup. But you still get to. There's a QB that you're supremely interested in and want to see what that looks like. And then also with all the wide receivers, a new running back, new offensive lineman, a new defensive end. A new linebacker. Genuinely, it's going to be really interesting spring, I think, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh man, maybe Tatum Bethune would make the biggest splash.
He could.
That was a good one. I don't know. Is this true? Gator Kirk says FSU starts out the baseball game by striking out 3 times, twice looking at one swing. I thought the game started at 7.
Apparently, it started at 6. He did just tweet in the chat said they scored. So
all right.
So they scored in the next inning.
Okay, sweet. Thank you, Ingvar. We appreciate it. We'll keep scrolling. William McMillan, despite all of his teeth gnashing,
there you go,
he still believes in Florida State, though. He's like, even if they're not going to hurt the feelings of Jordan Travis, he still thinks they're going to hurt the feelings of LSU fans. Splendid. Quantrell wants to know this. Corey, on a scale of 1 to 10, I think with 1 being happy, 10 being disgusted.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how disgusted are you with the ACC network? That Florida commercial, UF commercial they kept showing made me sick.
So for the people that don't know, during the Florida State Boston College game, if you were lucky enough not to have watched it, what they were doing was they had a Gatorade commercial where the kid, I guess he gets accepted to Florida. Is the end of the commercial, or it's the gist of the commercial? Is he gets a official offer or letter, or he gets accepted to Florida? And the ACC network thought, in all their infinite wisdom, this is the Gatorade commercial we should run on our site or on our network. So yeah, I'm not a 10. 10 is charge calls. They disgust me. But I would say probably an 8.5. Because that commercial is just ridiculous. It's insulting. Like you can't. I mean, there's nobody there with critical thought that can say, maybe for this one, let's show the old Michael Jordan, you can be like Mike Gatorade commercial. Like, let's not do the one with Florida on the ACC network. This isn't the SEC network. Why couldn't the kid have gotten accepted to Clemson? He had to be accepted. So anyway, that's all. That was the gist of that commercial, and they ran it all the time. Every single commercial break was that, and I assume the glasses where you can see the bald eagle.
All right.
But I'm
The
with you,
game is on-
Quantrell.
The game is on ESPN Plus apparently, which that's not cool. I don't have that. So let's see here. Let's keep Heather Hudson, which she's a Florida fan, but she likes female sports. So
Okay.
she respects Florida State, so she hangs out on this podcast.
How do you know that?
She posted on it earlier.
Oh, all right.
Chat. You're not the only one that can see the chat, Corey.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't see that part.
Heather Hudson says, any chance Alex Atkins is poached by UGA? What's the vibe up there, Corey?
Well, actually, I'm in Tallahassee right now, but I would be surprised because he's not going to be the OC, and if he's looking to, advance professionally, I think a couple of years running an offense at Florida State, having the title of offensive coordinator is probably an easier route to get a head coaching job than just being the O-line coach at Georgia. But then I say that the guy that was there 2 years ago is now the head coach at Arkansas, and he was just the O-line coach. So who knows? I hopefully they will not poach Alex Atkins. I don't know if Kirby has any sort of relationship with him at all either. I can't imagine he does. I don't know if their paths would have crossed.
Lots of coaches want to be spending time with their families. Very interesting. Offensive coordinator from Auburn that left a good job with the Seahawks in the NFL to take the OC job at Auburn, stepped away from the Auburn job, want to spend time with his family. Matt Luke, O-line coach at Georgia, wants to spend more time with his family. I don't know. That's always been a weird one. All right. Ingvar, I had something to say, but I didn't want to say it. Ingvar, what do you think about this year's schedule? Is it the most difficult schedule of the last 5 to 6 years?
Yeah, who knows what that is? He cussing at us?
Yeah.
So don't Google translate that last part there.
I don't know.
I would say the one that started with Alabama was probably tougher, just because you're already starting with a loss. Look, right now in February it looks pretty tough. NC State is right now in February going to be a really hard game. Probably will be in October when you play them too. But yeah, there's none of those games where you're like, okay, they're going to be overwhelmed. They're playing a team that's going to just beat the snot out of them. They have no chance. The last few years, there have been plenty of games, maybe not last year, it turned out not to be the case, although going into the year, we thought it would be. But before last year, there were 2 or 3 games a year where they kind of lined up, didn't have a chance. That shouldn't be the case this year. Now, they ain't going to win them all. And you hopefully they win more than they lose. But, at Miami, at NC State, Florida and Clemson at home, LSU and in New Orleans. It ain't easy, no. But I don't know. I don't know if it's the toughest one of the last 5 or 6 years.
I'll say yes. Ingvar,
okay, good answer.
I know the 2020 schedule is easy. I know that one. That was the easiest of the last 5 to 6 years. And it didn't work out all that great. Mark Shermans is back, and he brought money with him. More money. He had money last time. He brings money again. Mark, you can, we're taking some freebies as well. We're not just purely capitalistic over here. We have a little bit of an altruistic bend. But, if you're going to drop 500, like our guy Shane, good grief.
By the way, I think James B. might have made another donation.
I was going to get to it. I wasn't sure. I saw this kind of in the queue, if you will.
It was confusing because there didn't look like there were any words associated with it.
We'll refund if it was a mistake.
Okay.
First, Mark says, I love Jordan Travis, but culture is there now, and we need people that are going to win, so we need to press them. That's a good point, right? If anything, year 0, year 1, wins and losses, man, it's year 3. What you've tried to instill, you've ran everybody off, and I don't want to say it that way, but this roster is pretty much yours now. You've made all the hires you've wanted to. It seems like you've had a bit of latitude to go after whoever you wanted to. You maybe didn't get a Juwan Sider, but you've kind of rearranged everything to where you want it to be. You still have the continuity of your strength staff. Your leaders are the guys that made plays last season, so they're kind of familiar to most guys. I know you're bringing in some new pieces, but again, I'm the kind of guy that scoffs at culture. I think it's a little bit. It's part of the formula. It is. I think we maybe put a little too much thought into it, but at the least, isn't there probably enough of that built in by now, Corey, to where, team before me kind of starts prevailing now at this point. Not that Jordan wants to like cede his job to anybody, but ultimately you've created something that's strong enough that guys will realize that we're doing this to make the team better. And you kind of have to realize that one way or the other.
Yeah. Again, and we don't know the inner workings. We don't know how hard they've gone after quarterbacks or if they care about Jordan Travis's feelings at all. I mean, I'm sure they do to an extent because they've coached him and they like him. But I don't know that they're not going after like a Jaden Daniels because they don't want to upset Jordan Travis. That's just nonsensical. That wouldn't make any sense. If you're a competitor, you want to have the best players on your team, and Jaden Daniels, even if he didn't win the job, would make Jordan Travis better. So it would make no sense not to go after him to protect Jordan Travis's feelings. I also think Jordan Travis was affected last year with the McKenzie stuff at the beginning of the year.
He
Clearly.
He
admitted it. Dillingham admitted it. You know, he was booed. I can understand that. Everybody loved McKenzie Milton. So I get that was a hard part for him, but that was then the season happened. So he's not in the same mental state, the mental place now after going 5-2 in his last 7 games and proving to himself that he was a college quarterback in a pretty good one than he was, September of 2021. I think he's in a different place now. And I don't think he would be, I don't think he would take umbrage to somebody coming in and trying to compete with him for the starting spot. I think he's confident enough in himself now to be like, yeah, man, come on in. I'm going to beat you. That's me anyway. I'm going to beat you out for the job. I think that's what it would be. And I don't think they would turn down a surefire, very good, very capable quarterback or capable backup because they don't want to hurt Jordan Travis's feelings. You just hope that coaches aren't thinking like that. That I would hope not. Like Leonard Hamilton didn't think about like, man, is Anthony Polite going to be okay if I bring in Caleb Mills? He's like, I'm bringing in Caleb Mills because he's going to make us better. And then Caleb got hurt and the season derailed into a forest fire.
Apparently, we're kind of like your favorite sports book. I think YouTube caps people. James B says YouTube just gave me a limit. WTH? What the heck? Because he just did it again.
James B, come on, buddy.
Let's go.
James B in the house.
400 out of the sky. By the way, James B said like 20 minutes ago he'll be at both. So I think spring game.
New Orleans and spring game. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, cool, man. So, yeah, don't be a stranger. Come on up. We'll be there. As you can imagine, I'll probably be at Corner Pocket for a while that night. So, come hang out.
Let's keep the good vibes going. Johnny Buckets, if we beat LSU, we get to 10 wins with the bowl win. Thoughts?
Agreed.
Ooh, strong.
Come out 2-0 with a win over LSU in New Orleans. Yeah, man, they could go. What would that be? 8-3 the rest of the way.
All right, let's kick a few more as we
7-3.
Wind things down here. Chris from Fort Myers, gentlemen, what's more important, possession receiver or home run threat? Home run threat. I mean, it's the whole thing Kenny talked about. Can you be consistently elite or can you be explosive? It's just easier to be explosive.
Yeah.
I'll take either. We haven't had either, really. I mean, have we?
Not since 19 with Terry. Terry was the last one in 2019.
Yeah. Wes dropping promo. Thanks, Wes. Khalil, $10. Thank you, Khalil. Appreciate you, man. You're awesome. Loyal. He's like a historian of, I don't know if the lost decade. He's a historian of like 14 to 17. That's his wheelhouse.
Yeah, man, but he likes asking the old-timey questions too. Khalil, if you're ever in town, man, come down for one of these things. Let's hang out. You and I would probably have an hour-and-a-half conversation just about like the 2013 team or something.
All right. Which of these would you rather have this season? Top 20 defense, top 20 offense? I'd say probably I'd like to
offense.
See top 20 offense.
I'm picking offense. When was the last time Florida State had a legitimately good offense? Dalvin?
Yeah.
Like a fun offense. An offense that you knew would score 35 in a game, 34, somewhere around there, that was consistently good. It'd be great to have a top 20 defense. It probably leads to a better record, but I want to see some touchdowns, everyone. I want to cover an offense that scores a lot of points and is fun to watch and has a bunch of playmakers. So I'm going to say, just selfishly, I would rather watch a top 20 offense.
Yeah.
And number 22 defense.
He says 2016 was probably the last time we had a good offense. But DeAndre was good.
Nooney was good that year.
Yeah. Ingvar, if Coach Norvell were to finish 6-6 or less, would this be a reason for dismissal?
It would be a reason for a dismissal, yeah, but that does not mean that he would be dismissed.
Yeah.
It would be a perfectly understandable reason for a dismissal, but I mean it's tough with the way with the early signing period. Like if he's got himself a nice class, if he goes 5-7 and has another nice class on deck, are you gonna wipe all that out and start over again? Or are you gonna give the guy one more season? Because there's no, if you fired him at the end of this year, if he goes 5-7, there's no way 2023 will be any good at all. No way. But you also I know people are like, well, why keep somebody that you don't think can do it? So we're not even going to worry about that. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He's not going below 6-6.
All right, that's a wrap for us, everybody. We'll do another show later this week. Probably drop it out Thursday or Friday. Renegade Express, we'll post the thread. Shoulder,
and then we're worked out yesterday for the first time. I'm feeling it a little bit.
Weights.
It was a little circuit training with weights and jumping on boxes and stuff. I got my own trainer now, so I'm going for it.
Good,
I'm
explosive,
going for it.
dynamic movements.
Yeah.
And jumping. I like that. Very good, very good. I recommend that. Somebody came in at the horn. We got places to be, everybody. We appreciate you. It's Tom Mortner.
Yeah,
just Tom wants to say what's up to his buddy Ingvar.
There you go, Tom.
From
Tom
Russia
and
with
Ingvar.
love. Or to Russia.
To
with
Russia
love.
with love, yeah.
All right, so thanks to Tom. Thanks to Ingvar. Thanks to Khalil. James B. Two times. Shane Kirkley, big shooter. Mark Sermons, Willie McMillan, our guy Ed, DeLuna Coffee, DeLunaCoffee.com. Warchant 15% off their orders. DeLunaCoffee.com.
And we'll be doing this probably at least 3 times in March, but probably every week during spring practice, we'll have a live show, right, Aslan, don't we think?
Yes.
And then during that time, maybe even the next one of these that we do, we're going to set up a charity where all the donations, all the really, really thoughtful donations that we get all the proceeds will go to a local charity. So we're going to be doing that again here very soon. So stay tuned to Warchant for all that.
Delaney Way, Mark, Adam Check, Eric Angel, and our guy Rob Rathman, who just drops money and runs away like Shane Kirkley. You guys are amazing. We really can't tell you how much we appreciate the support. Like Corey said, we'll keep cranking these out for you because they're fun. After all, we'll help some other folks out that are more important than Corey and I. Stay connected to warchant.com. Florida State is up right now in Jacksonville 1-0. But you're listening to this on the podcast, maybe, so whatever. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Hit the thumbs up on the way out if you could, please. Corey, say goodbye for both of us.
Peace out. We love you.